The late afternoon sun hangs low over Caracas, pouring an orange glow over the wide boulevard leading toward the Miraflores Palace. A restless crowd begins to gather as rumors circulate through the capital. President Nicolás Maduro will appear in public today, just hours after what the government calls a high-level and necessary phone call with US President Donald Trump. The moment feels choreographed, even calculated, arriving at a time when tensions between Washington and Caracas are surging toward a level unseen in years. The United States has tightened sanctions, positioned additional naval assets in the Caribbean, and issued a series of increasingly stark warnings. Venezuela, for its part, has responded with defiance, framing the confrontation as another chapter in what Maduro describes as a long-running imperial assault on his country's sovereignty. As the crowd grows denser, banners ripple above the heads of supporters, red, yellow, blue, the colors of the Bolivarian Republic. Loudspeakers pump patriotic music across the plaza. Finally, the audience reacts with a wave of screams and applause as Maduro appears on stage. He steps forward slowly, a familiar figure in his standard dark jacket, lifting his hand to greet the crowd with a broad wave. Cameras track his movements closely, capturing his arrival in a smooth tracking shot that follows him across the stage. It's a carefully choreographed moment of visibility designed to show strength, confidence, and above all, control. Maduro's wife, Cilia Flores, stands beside him, also waving to the crowds. The two present themselves as the steady center of a nation under pressure, projecting an image of unity amid growing international isolation. From the stage, Maduro scans the massive sea of people, lifting binoculars to study the crowd before laughing and lowering them. His gesture is both theatrical and pointed, an attempt to show he is connected to those who continue to support him despite the worsening economic hardship gripping the country. Yet beneath the applause and orchestrated energy, there is an unmistakable tension in the air. Maduro's public appearance follows what officials describe as a serious and direct call with President Trump, an extraordinary shift in tone after months of escalating confrontation. For years, relations between Washington and Caracas have been defined by acrimonious rhetoric, sanctions, and the steady collapse of diplomatic communication. But Trump's administration, which had previously labeled Maduro's alleged drug trafficking network a terrorist organization and moved military assets into the region, is now signaling that all options remain on the table. The atmosphere in Caracas reflects that uncertainty. While Maduro waves and smiles, the United States is simultaneously amplifying its warnings. In recent days, Trump declared that Venezuelan airspace is closed, a phrase interpreted by analysts as either a threat of impending military action or a symbolic declaration meant to contain Venezuela's military movements. Either interpretation carries enormous consequences. For a nation already battered by an economic collapse, massive migration flows, and political polarization, the possibility of a direct confrontation with the world's most powerful military is a looming shadow. Maduro's appearance today serves multiple objectives. Domestically, it reassures supporters that he remains in firm command. Visually, it counters narratives that portray him as isolated or on the verge of losing control. Internationally, the event signals defiance. By appearing at a public rally immediately after speaking with Trump, Maduro is crafting a message. Dialogue or not, Venezuela will not bow to pressure. As the cameras continue rolling, the event becomes a symbolic stage upon which Venezuela's internal struggles collide with international geopolitics. Maduro's wave lingers in the air, an attempt to appear unbothered by the American naval presence in nearby waters. But even as he projects confidence, the significance of the phone call with Trump cannot be understated. For months, channels between the two leaders have been limited or non-existent. The fact that they spoke directly suggests a recalibration. The question is, for which side? Inside Washington, the Trump administration frames its pressure campaign as a strategy to push Maduro toward concessions, particularly on narcotics trafficking, democratic reforms, and the release of political prisoners. The designation of the so-called Cartel de los Sols, allegedly run by high-ranking Venezuelan officials, including Maduro himself, as a terrorist organization represents one of the most aggressive legal moves the US has taken against a foreign government in the region. By labeling the group a terrorist entity, the United States opened the door to military operations and covert actions that would otherwise fall outside the scope of traditional sanctions. For Caracas, however, that designation was nothing less than an existential threat. It framed the Venezuelan government as a criminal syndicate in the eyes of the international community. The military buildup in the Caribbean that followed only intensified the crisis. Venezuelan officials accused Washington of preparing a blockade, even an invasion. American officials insisted the naval deployments were part of a larger anti-drug trafficking operation, though the timing made the explanation widely questioned by analysts. Against this backdrop, Maduro's decision to stage a public appearance becomes increasingly symbolic. As he waves again from the stage and moves closer to the edge to greet supporters, he appears intent on displaying calm amid chaos. His wife stands beside him, echoing his gestures, reinforcing the image of continuity. Even the small theatrical details, the use of binoculars, the laughter, the extended waves carry a message. Maduro is present, visible, and unshaken. The moment shifts when Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello steps forward to address the crowd. Cabello, widely considered one of the most powerful figures in the Venezuelan government and the ruling United Socialist Party, has long been seen as Maduro's most loyal political enforcer. His reputation as a hardliner lends weight to any statement he makes. He grips the microphone and begins speaking forcefully, flanked by Maduro and Celia Flores. The visual composition is striking. Maduro stands just behind Cabello, who addresses the people with a tone meant to convey stability and authority. Cabello's presence is also a deliberate signal to Washington. As the United States accuses key Venezuelan officials of involvement in narcotics trafficking, appearing publicly with Cabello underscores the government's refusal to distance itself from those allegations. In fact, it does the opposite. It frames the U.S. accusations as political weapons designed to weaken Venezuela's leadership. The crowd's reaction to Cabello is loud and emotional. Supporters chant slogans, wave flags, and pump their fists in the air. Some shout messages of loyalty to Maduro, others express anger toward Washington. The rhetoric surrounding the event has taken on a quasi-military tone in recent weeks. Government messaging frequently invokes ideas of resistance, sovereignty, and anti-imperial struggle. The symbolism of this rally, with Maduro front and center, fits neatly into that narrative. Yet, beneath the surface, many Venezuelans privately express fear. The nation's long-running economic collapse has pushed millions into poverty. Public services have deteriorated. Inflation has ravaged livelihoods, and shortages remain widespread. Now, the specter of a military standoff with the United States, whether through direct confrontation, accidental escalation, or miscalculation, adds a new layer of uncertainty. Behind closed doors, diplomats across the Americas are scrambling to interpret the meaning of the Trump-Maduro phone call. Was it a negotiation attempt, a warning, a test? The ambiguity is palpable. U.S. officials describe it as firm but necessary. Venezuelan officials portray it as proof that Washington must ultimately deal with Maduro rather than the opposition figures it has supported. Analysts speculate that Trump may be trying to pressure Caracas into halting certain military activities, softening positions on prisoners, or negotiating a limited de-escalation to stabilize the region. For Venezuelans on the ground, however, the details of diplomatic maneuvering mean little compared to the reality of daily life. At the rally, the mood swings between defiance and apprehension. Some attendees dance to the music, while others hold signs declaring loyalty to the president. Families with children sit atop their shoulders to catch glimpses of Maduro on stage. Elderly supporters fan themselves in the heat, their expressions solemn, even anxious. As the event unfolds, Maduro continues to wave and gesture, seemingly energized by the crowd's enthusiasm. But even the most loyal supporters know that the moment is precarious. Venezuela has grown accustomed to navigating crisis after crisis, but few have carried the potential consequences of this one. A confrontation with Washington would threaten to rewrite the regional security landscape, upend international energy markets, and push Venezuela's already fragile state into deeper instability. Outside Venezuela, reactions vary widely. Some Latin American countries condemn the US pressure campaign, arguing that military threats will only worsen the humanitarian crisis. Others quietly support Washington's approach, believing that Maduro's government has run out of legitimacy. Major global powers, Russia, China, Iran, continue to back Maduro, supplying political cover and, in some cases, strategic support. Their involvement transforms the crisis from a regional standoff into a multipolar power struggle, with Venezuela as the center of gravity. Against this global backdrop, today's rally becomes more than a political event. It becomes a scene that encapsulates the drama of a nation caught between internal turmoil and external pressure. The image of Maduro waving from the stage while U.S. warships patrol nearby waters highlights the stark contradiction between symbolism and reality. The spectacle also raises questions about Maduro's own political strategy. By making a public appearance immediately after speaking with Trump, he signals that he is unafraid to confront the United States. But the move could also reflect a recognition that the situation has reached a critical point. Public displays of strength often mask private uncertainty. Maduro's government is aware of the risks posed by escalating tensions, especially with the US. Military signaling a heightened posture. Still, visually, the rally is powerful. Maduro's repeated waves from the stage are recorded by every major network. His moment with the binoculars becomes a small but symbolic clip, likely to be replayed by both his supporters and detractors. Cabello's speech anchors the event in political certainty, painting the Venezuelan leadership as united and unbroken. Yet, as the crowd disperses and the music fades, the questions left hanging over Caracas remain unanswered. What exactly did Maduro and Trump discuss? What comes next? And how close is Venezuela to a confrontation that could reshape its future? For now, the answers remain elusive. But one thing is clear. Today's public appearance was not merely a demonstration of domestic support. It was a carefully staged message to Washington, to Caracas, and to the world. As Maduro stood on that stage, waving, laughing, and surveying the crowd, he was also signaling that Venezuela is prepared, at least symbolically, to face the uncertainty ahead. The rally ends, but the story does not. In the coming days, geopolitical analysts will scrutinize every gesture, every phrase, every shift in military deployments. Diplomats will attempt to decode the meaning of the Trump-Maduro call, and the Venezuelan people will continue to navigate life under the weight of sanctions, economic strain, and the ongoing possibility of conflict. For the moment, Nicolás Maduro has made his statement not in words, but in images, appearing before his people, flanked by Cilia Flores and Diosdado Cabello, asserting that Venezuela remains unbroken. How long that message holds and what it leads to next is now a question for the region and the world.